Welcome everybody to Green Bay Public Arts Commission meeting. It's July 31st, 2019. It's 8:00 a.m. We'll begin with roll call. I'm serving as interim for Ken Hutchinson, who can't be here today. I'm Alex Zacharias. Alderman Randy Scannell.
Present.
Matt Cannon.
Here.
Kelly Strickland.
Here.
And our liaison representatives, Beth Lemke.
Hello.
Paul Grawl was not going to be here today, or?
He said he was.
Oh, okay. Matt Vanden Boomen here. All right. First on the agenda is approval of the agenda for July 31st, 2019.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Approval of minutes for May 22nd, 2019.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? All right. Regular business. 1, consideration with possible action on establishing the month of October as the election period for chair and vice chair of the Green Bay Public Arts Commission. Any discussion on that?
So we haven't elected a chair or a vice chair in a very long time, and I didn't know that that needed to happen. And since October is when the Public Arts Commission was first started, we figured October would be a good starting point to make it a yearly event now. But because of item 2, then we have to vote today. So.
Do we have to approve that, or?
Yes, but I'm wondering, is everybody on the commission for 2 years? Is that when they're appointed, or are they appointed by?
I thought they started out with a. Didn't we start out with a 2-and-1?
The first one is staggered, and then after the next round, I think it's 3 years.
3 years?
Yep. I don't have that with me.
I thought it was 2.
2 years? Okay. I mean, all the commissions are different, but yeah.
I believe it's 2.
So I mean, do we want to?
So there are a number of people coming up for reappointment.
Yep. So do we want to do it like whenever there's a reappointment every 2 years, or should we do it every year? We could do it either way, right?
I think I think like the redevelopment authority they redo the chair every year.
Every year?
Whether or not their term is up, they just annually.
You just have at least that discussion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Once a year they elect.
So every year in October.
I guess that makes it easier. You don't have to try to remember.
Well, you don't have to, if you're a chair, you don't have to commit to a longer term either.
Yeah.
You could chair for a year, and then another year you could do it again, but you know what I'm saying?
I think it should actually be lifelong emeritus.
Yeah, right.
We can call you at a moment's notice to.
Right.
So approval for somebody.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? And we'll move on to the next. Consideration with possible action.
Did you guys vote on the tablets?
We don't really need to if it's unanimous.
Okay.
It's easy, right? I mean, it's only when but unless you want us to, whatever you want us to do.
Well, for consistency, it'd be nice.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Okay. Somebody's got to teach me how to do that.
Well, it'll come up, it'll come up.
Oh,
You don't know it's going to be unanimous
So the
before you vote on it, Alder.
was,
Right.
Alex, correct?
Randy and Kelly.
There it is. So we can move forward.
Passed unanimously.
Number 2 on the item, consideration with possible action on the election of chair for the Green Bay Public Arts Commission. Open for discussion.
Well,
Or
are we going to go forward today? I know Kent was fine with moving forward today. I think he kind of was almost preferring to just get it done and over with.
Yeah, so I spoke with Kent. He's unable to make it today because he's camping, but I asked if he wanted to hold off until August, but he said he was fine having the vote take place today, which now that you guys just approved October as the election period, we could either have Alex remain as interim chair until that time, or you can hold a vote today for a new chair, and then we'll just have to
Kelly,
do it
let's
again
do
in
this,
October.
Kelly.
Well,
2 months.
Let's do
Yeah, I
this.
don't know if we need, would we really need to redo the chair again in October?
Yeah.
Oh, well then, we might as well wait till.
I mean, it doesn't take that long. I mean, if someone, my guess is if someone would like to be chair now, in 2 months, they probably still
Well,
want
would
to.
still be chair,
Might be
right?
an easy vote, but.
Yeah.
I'm for getting the next chair if she's willing.
Okay.
All right, so.
I make a motion that Kelly Strickland be the chair for the Public Arts Commission.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye?
All those opposed?
Oh, no, we got.
Oh, we gotta
do
vote.
Don't we have to ask 3 times, or?
No, no.
Okay.
No.
Kelly, can you do
Never
it? Kelly, can you do it?
No, it's not a public.
All right. There's the vote.
But you might want to ask if someone else would like to do it.
Oh,
If there's anyone
No.
else that would
So it's not
like
a
to be chair.
technical fee.
No.
so is there anybody else that's interested in being chair of the Public Arts Commission? Green Bay
So
Public Arts
honored.
Commission? Okay.
Thank
so-
you, Kelly.
So everybody voted?
Yeah.
All right. All right, you gonna sit here?
Passed unanimously.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
It's immediate effective?
It's immediately effective.
Can't we say effective in September? I need a
It would-
tutorial on all
yes,
of the
yes,
jargon.
Yes, whatever you wish, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, item number 3. Consideration with possible action and approval of creating a letter of support for Tony Whiting's Power to the Creators app. You want to say a little bit about that, or?
Yeah, and Tony's actually here today, so we can open up the floor, so he can speak a little bit about it better than I can, because I have no knowledge of apps and any of that.
No
but
aptitude for apps?
I don't, unfortunately.
All those in favor of opening up the floor?
Motion, yeah, motion open the floor.
All those approve?
Yep. Aye.
Again? Okay, Tony,
Yes, sir.
please join us.
Oh, I didn't know where I should.
Yeah,
No,
anywhere. You can sit at the table or whatever makes you more comfortable.
All right. Let me approach this way.
And thank you for being here today.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate the invite.
And if you can just say your name and address.
Tony Whiting, 1302 22nd Street, Two Rivers, Wisconsin, 54241. I'm originally a native of Green Bay, so that's why I'm here. I lived the first 2 or 3 years of my life here, then I returned for multiple times in my life. I've lived in Milwaukee, most of my time probably been in the Green Bay area, Sturgeon Bay area. So Dorr, Brown, and Kewaunee County most of the time too.
But the businesses here,
One more time?
your business will be in Green Bay?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I plan on doing things here. I want to bring this into Green Bay and into this area because this is my hometown. And it's going to affect a lot of the Midwest. I wanted to kind of be more region orientated, and keep it to this section because you see that we got the tech upstart here and a lot of other things are starting to grow and build up. I've spoke with the premier and some of the representatives there. I've talked to them a little bit about what I kind of have cooking up, and they seem pretty persuasive of the idea. And since there's a lot of the STEM stuff going on, well, arts and culture needs to kind of be up and stepping it up too, and kind of being a part of that movement. And
Can you share what the idea is about,
sorry.
please?
Power of the Creators is basically an app that will be able to make it so artists have a better chance to be able to reach a higher amount of people, bigger audience. And it gives them the opportunity to make something that's more of a sense of purpose for people that, it's like kind of like a live stream video on demand sort of application. So let's say a musician is making a song and they got sampling for 3 different things they're possibly thinking about adding. In real time, I want someone to be able to, as they're watching this kind of being produced and unfolded. If the person's like, hey, you know, I have, you know, these 3 measures I was thinking of putting in here, what do you guys think? In real time, people will be able to vote, or through the chat be able to put in their input and their feedback. And that way, the song becomes not just the artist or the creator's song, it becomes that entire community song. And by giving a community, even if it's a virtual community, giving people purpose, it gives them more a deepened sense of the humanities and being a part of that. And I want everyone to feel like they got like a deeper sense of purpose in life. And if one of those ways is to be a part of like the artistic process, I think that'd be something that would be great for everyone. Everyone should somehow practice arts or be a part of the humanities in some form, to leave something behind, you know, afterwards, to have that sense of, you know, even when I'm gone, at least I know that there was always this one thing that I was a part of. And that's kind of what I want to do, is give everybody that outlet, give something back, essentially.
And what's the process for the artist, and how do you decide on that?
Well, I mean, it's up to the artist. It's all up to their medium. I mean, I want to keep it open to whatever your medium is, whether it's a visual art or it's music or anything like that. I want you to have that opportunity to create freely what you want to create. You can have your audience involved if you wish. I feel like if you do let them into your creative process and let them be a part of it, that you're going to have a bigger fan base, you're going to have more people sharing what you do, and because they're going to have a part of it themselves. So they're going to be like, hey, you know, I helped, you know, make this song, or, you know, I helped add this element to this painting or this drawing. You know, you should check this person out. It creates more of a personal brand awareness for someone who's trying to sell their work.
And what's the cost and sustainability for the project?
See, I'm still presently in the idea phase, and I'm still working on all the details. I kind of lost touch with things for over the past month, just because I had some medical personal things that came up. So I've been kind of attending to that a little bit more recently. Right now, I'm working on, I have somebody, I have to make a follow-up with them and see what exactly he all knows, what kind of training he's had, and what he can show me he can do. I might have somebody that could possibly assist me building the application for little to no cost. It's, you know, if it's too good to be true, then chances are it is, but I want to see where this avenue takes. I still need to fill out some things for some other possible venture capital, some things to help move it along, but I also have been looking at, and I'm waiting for some responses from them, not responding fast as I'd like, but on 2 different alternative platforms and stuff to start building from. So then once the capital or the funding is available, I can just branch off and make it its own separate thing by itself. Which the 2 things I've been looking at lately have been kind of off the beaten path, like Strem TV, because you can, if you do an enterprise through them, you can create multiple channels. So I would be able to make it so every medium's got its channel, so to speak, and that medium and stuff can produce throughout that channel 24/7 stuff. I mean, really I want that live aspect, but if I have to just resort to video on demand to start with, I'm more than happy to do that. And also on top of that, as a hobby throughout like high school and stuff, I did sketch comedy, like acting. It's a lot of fun, and this is more of a passion project than it is just like, oh, it's just a business. No, I have a lot of heart behind this too. So I want to give myself also that option too, to be able to create. I have tons of ideas for different things that I would love to, you know, show the world, and I have concepts for things that would go on the engagement and the interactivity of it. One concept idea I spoke to you, Laura, of is the Leaders Arena, where basically you would, online and stuff, you would choose a prompt. And then after that prompt's chosen, you select a character. The community gets to select the characters. So let's say you got, you know, guy from Texas, Texas Cowboy, and then you got the Boston Business guy, and, people could choose these two sides, they would know what the prompt is and they wouldn't know what side of the argument they're on until maybe a few minutes before it goes live. So then both these actors, these people playing these entities, have to improvisationalize what their end of the argument is. So it makes it so it's more spontaneous, it's more engaging, because you never know what anyone's going to say because they have no idea what they're saying either.
Questions?
So you're just looking for a letter of support to help you in your
Yes, sir.
fundraising efforts?
Yes, sir.
Do we have to approve that?
Yeah, we have to
Yep.
make a
Do I
motion,
close-
make a
do I
motion.
close the floor first, or?
Yeah, we need to close the floor.
Okay. Any
Motion.
any additional information you want to share?
Trying to think. I had some other things typed up, but unfortunately I should have made some prints. Excuse me.
All right. You could always stay in touch with Laura.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you for the presentation. We're going to close the floor and make a decision. All right.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you.
Motion to close the floor.
All those approve?
Aye.
Those against? All right. So the request is a letter of support for Mr. Tony Whitting's Power to the Creators app. Any discussions?
I don't know why we wouldn't support it. I mean, it's a letter. I mean, if it helps him with his fundraising.
I guess my only apprehension is that the work itself doesn't necessarily meet the charter of the commission itself. So I think I also have some concerns that it's so very much in the ideation stage. I hear role playing, I hear online artist collaboration. I think perhaps it maybe needs a little more time to bake and to have some sense of what the focus of the app and the platform is. But additionally, some kind of, often we ask artists for like a portfolio of work so we understand what the track record of an experience is. So if the overwhelming sense is that a letter of support should be offered to all people with creative ideas, then I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I think if we're trying to align the work of the artist with the commission itself, this doesn't feel totally in step. But I don't,
Well, I think we want to promote the arts, and this promotes the arts. I think that fits our mission.
Well, I kind of agree with Kelly. I would like to see, I know that Tony is in the process of getting stuff done. I'd like to be able to see, give Tony an opportunity to come and actually perhaps update us and show us where he's at.
Actually, I have a question for Tony now. I want to make a motion to open the floor.
Yep.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All opposed? Tony?
When were you going to start fundraising?
I've been actually trying to figure out ways to raise funds so far. I actually have been working on getting everything together for the crowdfunding. I have some freelancers and stuff that I'm going to have try to help push and market my crowdfunding, because I really kind of want to make it more grassrooted. I really honestly don't want venture capital. I want it to be homegrown, grass grown, and I would prefer it be grown in the community itself, because that's who it's for. I don't want it to be just something that like, oh, I just run the show on this thing. No, I want it to actually be about the community and about the people. What better way to do that than to crowdfund it?
And the funding is integral to getting the actual app running, as opposed to getting the app and then getting the funding. I mean, I think to do it the other way, you got the cart before the horse. He needs to fund to be able to do the app. So I think if we're going to help them, now would be the time so we can fundraise. I mean, that's what the purpose of the letter is, to help them fundraise. So anyway, I'm sorry.
Nope.
No more questions.
So,
Thank you. Anything else?
any other questions for Tony? All right, we're going to close the floor.
Motion to close the floor.
Motion to close the floor.
Second.
All those approved?
Aye.
All against? Any further discussion? Any opinions? Do we need to make a vote?
Yeah, well, a motion and a vote.
Or motion? Can you motion?
Well, I'll motion to, that staff, the Towntonian doing a letter, and that should probably come back to us then to approve, I would think. So if Laura and Ms. Whitting can get together, do a letter, and then bring it back to us and approve it, you can use it. So my motion would be that we work together, put a letter together for them to fundraise.
Do we make an electronic vote?
No, well, we gotta get a second.
Oh, all those,
If there's no second, it dies. There's no,
anybody want a second? All right,
then the motion fails.
all right.
It'd be a motion to receive and place on file.
Motion to receive and place on file. All those,
Well, someone's gonna make it.
oh,
I'll make the motion to receive and place on file.
all right. Second? All those in favor?
We
All
gotta
those
vote
against?
now. We gotta vote now.
Oh.
Okay.
Places we got.
So
So what does it say? It's a,
this would be a yes to receive and place
Place
on
on,
file.
yep,
Right.
yes, receive and place on file.
all right. Move forward.
We're not done yet? We're not done. Motion is tied 2-2.
So do we need to break that, or how does that work?
Tie fails, I think.
I think a tie fails.
So the motion did not carry. So now we haven't received it, place it on file. So I don't know where we go from here.
My personal feeling is that Tony should come back when he has a little more detail about what the app is, and he's going to need that to fundraise anyway.
How about, can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Maybe entertain a motion to hold this at such point that you would come back with further information to present it again. So you're holding it, you're not really saying no or yes, but then you need to provide some more information. At that point, you guys can make the decision.
Go ahead, Randy, make the motion.
Make a motion to hold.
So I make a motion to hold this for, how long ago do we need to? Until Mr. Whiting can
Provide further
Provide
information
further.
about the project.
Yep, yep.
All those in favor?
Well, we need a second.
Oh, anybody second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Well, no, we gotta do
Oh,
vote
oh,
again.
it's electronic, okay.
Yeah, yeah, we'll do, right, we're gonna do everything electronically, correct?
Yep,
Yep.
it's coming.
All right. No more vocals, okay.
So this isn't a hold, this is on approval of creating.
No, it's holding.
It's hold.
The motion is verbal. It doesn't matter what's written. It's whatever motion we make. So the motion is to hold.
Oh, I see, okay.
Passed unanimously.
All right. Tony, look forward to hearing you from again. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to any more conversation on this.
We voted on it, we're done.
All right. Number 4, consideration with possible action on the annual grant program application for Legend Life for a live musical, Overcome. All right.
So Tim reached out to city staff about his project called Overcome. It's an original play that several youth are putting on. It's going to be at the Brown County Library August 22nd through the 24th, I believe. And he's here today to talk a little bit more about it, but he was seeking funds to help purchase tickets, basically, that he could then distribute for people to attend the play. not open the phone.
And I might have to recluse myself because I know his work. It's great work that he does, but because of conflicts.
Well, I've had a conversation with him too.
Is this the Boys and Girls Club?
I mean,
He's done stuff with the Boys and Girls
Right.
Club, yeah.
So do I recluse myself?
Well, only if you feel you can't make a decision, that your relationship with him makes it, influences you so that you cannot make an appropriate decision that you would, otherwise, no, you can.
Biased.
If you're biased.
Kelly,
There's the word I wanted.
I think just because you have a professional relationship with them, it's okay.
Okay.
Right, I mean, unless you were working specifically on this project,
Right.
I would say no, but otherwise it should
Okay.
be okay.
Very good. All right.
So a motion to open the floor.
A motion for a second. All right. Come on. Oh, go ahead.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? All right, floor is open. If you can come up and give us your name and your address and tell us your story, please.
Hello, guys.
Morning.
I'm Tim Vaughn from Legend Life Youth Development. I'd like to start off by saying I do not know this man. Hi. Yeah, I run a youth organization.
Can you give us your address, please?
Name and address.
It's just part of the city.
Oh, okay.
Your name
sorry.
and address.
1482 Elm Street, Upper.
And your name?
Tim Vaughn.
Thank you, Tim.
No problem. Okay. All right. I'm sorry about that. I run a youth organization here in Green Bay called Legend Life. We've been operating for 6 years. We started off actually as just a youth flag football league, and that's how I met Celeste and the ex-mayor. So I had a prior relationship with them. And as my football league grew, I started opening up and expanding to other programs, not just summer football. We end up doing holiday things like Easter egg hunts, Father's Day barbecues. Just I wanted to do something all year round. So I'm a writer, so I had wrote a book, and I wasn't getting my friends. Honestly, this is exactly what happened. My friends aren't big book readers, and I wasn't feeling like I was starting to get a lot of people I didn't know tell me how good the book was, but I couldn't get my friends to read it. So I was like, you know what? I want to do something more visual to help, to help people, my friends see how good I am at writing. So, and I run, like I said, the youth organization. I did a play. I did a drama program to where I brought in a bunch of kids and we started teaching them monologues, and we did video shoots, and I started just helping them with confidence and speaking and reading and stuff like that. So with the idea of wanting to do something more visual, and with the idea of having the drama kids for my second year, I decided to write a play. I said I'm going to write a play, and I'm going to audition kids, and I'm going to pick some, and we're going to put it on. We're going to put on this big high school musical type production. So I wrote a play called Overcome. It's about overcoming bullying and depression. I auditioned kids from the Boys and Girls Clubs, the libraries, the schools, all through the city. We end up auditioning 56 kids. We picked 9 of them out to star in it. The other kids are still in it. They're choir members and dancers, so they still a part. They just did main roles. And now we've been rehearsing since April 1st. So we've been rehearsing for about 4 months. It's been really entertaining. And the kids are really ready and excited to put it on. And it's 900 seats, I think, that we're trying to fill here. So I was in a position to where I wanted to start letting people know about it, and that's why I reached out to Celeste, just so she can, maybe get the word out to people who she knew. And she connected me to Laura, and Laura informed me about this grant, which actually Celeste did mention the grant too. But we thought it was a good idea to where if I can get this grant, I can give away the 150 tickets. And I know you asked me about who would I give them to. So since then, I've thought about it and looked around. I have a church, I have a couple of churches that wouldn't mind bringing some kids through. So I figured maybe I can give like 50 to the church. It is 50 to each of the clubs, because I don't work with the Boys and Girls Club, but they have embraced me and let me use their facilities, and I've become familiar with a lot of the staff. So I would love to give each club 50 tickets so they can bring kids with them. So that's why I'm here today. Any questions, I would be happy to answer them. I just don't know exactly what you want me to start with. I am a talker, so be careful what you ask me. It's gonna go.
Well, I could share that I have a facility. My facility, I have a green room. He asked if I can, and it's got a stage, and he asked at one time if he can come and borrow it so the youth can practice. So I had an opportunity to observe, and it was really, I was very impressed. So what I like about it is there was, it seems like there were youth that would be unlikely to be involved in the program, and to get on stage and to act, I could never do that. I think it's pretty hard.
I don't have any additional questions.
I don't have any questions. I don't, nothing like,
So, you know, and again, I know you kind of emphasized the whole idea is we need to make this public, you know, and it sounds like that's the direction you're going. You're trying to get as many
people to know about it as possible. I think it's a project that if people knew about it, they would want to get behind and want to support, and if nothing else, just come see. And that's the stage we're at. We're a month out, so we're just at that stage where we want to make sure people know about it and they come see it. So, yeah, that's...
Actually, I do have one question.
Go ahead.
Tim, would you be willing, I know this is sort of a double-edged sword, because if you receive the grant, you're going to apply it to ticket revenue. Would you be willing, in addition to giving it to the organization, to hold, say, 10 or 12 of these tickets at the door, so that if someone just walked up and said, what's going on, I'd like to come see it, you could apply these tickets to those walk-ups? Part of our charge is to make sure that there are no barriers to entry. So we would want to make sure that there was something in place, although likely someone's just going to be wandering by the basement of the library, but just in case, that there was a margin where you could just welcome anyone in who wanted to see it, if you would use these funds in that way.
Yeah, we definitely can set aside 15 to 20 tickets for that. I know that weekend is, you guys have a big program going on in the city, so it will be a lot of traffic around there. So who knows who would, you know, see what's going on, like, and want to be a part of it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we can set aside 15 to 20 tickets for something like that.
That's great. That would satisfy my sort of making sure we're meeting our mission.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, maybe even just marketing the event out a little bit, saying the first X number of people who show up at the door
Are free.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that'd be, yeah, that actually set a nice roll. A couple of my friends that bought tickets might want refunds now.
You had a comment?
Tim, I just had a question. Is it just the one day, or do you have plans on taking the show on tour?
Well, not on tour, but we're planning on doing 3 shows. August 22nd, a night show. August 23rd is the actual show at 2 o'clock, and then an encore show Saturday. So we're doing a premiere show, the regular show, and then an encore show. So the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Now after that, if it's so good that someone wants us to do it again, I might can convince the kids to get back together. So we'll see how that goes after.
It just takes me back to a former life where I did theater and drama, and that was actually my safe space, you know, in high school, and then community theater in the summer. But yeah, it'd be great if you could go to schools.
Yeah, no, actually.
I mean, and then that was theater. You're just doing arsenic and or something about old ladies killing people. I mean, it's great that you have a project that's actually relevant to, you know, what these kids are doing.
No, that's actually another dream of mine. I've actually thought about, and not even just, you know, not even just these schools. I've actually thought about, like, oh, what if one day my old school back in Chicago put it on, you know? So I definitely would love to get it out to as many people as possible, and I'm hoping that after we put it on and we record it and more people see it, maybe even schools are asked if their drama club can, you know, put on that play even without my help. It'll be something like that that I'm picturing in my head as a writer. As a writer, I would love to watch other people put on, you know, the project.
Well, thank you for the presentation. A motion to close the floor?
Motion to close the floor.
Second.
All right. All those approved?
Aye.
All those against? Thank you.
Thank you.
Randy, go ahead, motion.
Well, I think we need some discussion. I mean, I don't know, what, for our funds, how much?
Yeah, we don't have balances this week, Laura.
Yeah.
Sorry. We have about 11,200 left total. And that's to carry us through September. So we did get approval from the RDA to pay for my position.
So the 11 grand no longer includes supporting your position?
No.
Okay.
They're still pulling down from that until it runs out. So my position is still being pulled from that 11,000.
Has to carry us through September.
Yeah.
11,000.
Okay, and do we know what the number is to support your position through September?
It's gonna be very, very tight, as in it almost.
So do we have any funds to distribute?
I mean, technically we do, but also
We have other projects as well.
currently we don't have any other applications coming in. And the other projects that we are working on, that excess stadium tax fund is not being utilized for those projects.
So we've got grant dollars for the rotating arts program to fund those kinds of projects.
That's basically what the 11,000 can be used for. It could be used for grants and paying for my position. Now, if we run out of that money, I like to think that I won't be out of a job completely, but it's just going to be a weird gappage happening.
So if we fund projects, it's likely we'll have a few weeks or maybe even a month, depending how much we spend on grants. We'd have time without you until we get our CDBG funds in September, October.
I mean, it's under my impression that I'll still be working. I don't think I'm going to be out of a job. Is that correct?
We just wouldn't be paying you?
Yeah, I guess, do we know Krista with regards to where we are with the block grant? Where we're
I
picking
talked
you
to
up?
Stephanie about it, and she had said that she had recommended that we try and spend as little as possible, because there is only that amount left in there, and that will most likely equate out to paying me until September, which at that time, hopefully the federal funds are on track to come in, and then that can pick up right there.
All right, I'll make a recommendation among the group that we fund the $300 that we've been funding consistently while we've been in this weird interim time. But I think that the project deserves some support, and it's sort of misleading that we asked someone to do a presentation when we didn't know whether we have funds or not to distribute. So $300 seems like what we can do.
That's a motion?
I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye. Well,
Yeah, she's got it.
And we should check now, I mean, he had a series of
Yes.
things that the money would, do we want to specify what it should go for, or we can just give it in however
It's
he
going
feels?
toward ticket subsidization. That's what's going to make it public art.
Okay, I mean,
Okay.
It's ready.
Laura, I also
Passed
just,
unanimously.
for the
So-
record, would like to say that we need to like close applications or somehow notify artists. If we can't actually fund anything, it's really not
Which I think
appropriate.
is why we need to revisit the granting calendar, because right now it's open season all the time.
Right.
And this grant calendar, such fun calendar that we have, it's like, oh, we have this much, like, we've approved that we should have this much for this period of time and this much for this period of time. So we need to set up, I think we need to set up strict deadlines when we actually.
I think I said as much at the last meeting, but I mean, immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
well, if you could figure out what your salary's gonna be, and if there's any left over, then we need to know what that is, and maybe we could do something, maybe, depending upon that. We need to know how much we've got.
or we just need to say the next consideration for granting is at the October meeting.
I think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
Do we need to approve that?
I make a motion that
That's
we.
not on the agenda.
Oh.
We can't.
Okay.
I haven't
In
received.
conversations with artists, I would encourage
Yeah.
them to think about an October timeline.
Yeah.
How's that?
And I
Yeah.
haven't received any.
Next month, we did get it on the agenda.
I haven't received any other artist applications in the meantime. I don't know how many.
So anyone who comes in,
projects.
that's a fresh conversation.
Yep.
Good, okay.
But just to understand, Overcome has been approved $300.
Yes.
And then, are there any pending dollars? So in the previous grants that have been awarded, has all of that money been requested and paid?
We're still holding out, not holding out, but I'm waiting on a contract from the legal department for the CP mural. So that will, but it's already been calculated out.
Accounted for,
That's, yeah.
okay. That's, I just want to make sure there's nothing else outstanding.
No, just that one.
But that is outstanding.
Well, it is, but as long as it's calculated into.
Was that
Maybe
the
it's
new
with an
one there?
exclamation point. Outstanding.
All right, I'm gonna move forward on next business. Consideration with possible action on a request by Alderman Chris Wery to create 2 options for outdoor 9/11 memorial to present to the Parks Committee for consideration.
Yes, I can handle that very quickly here. If you want the long story, I can get into it, or I can make the short story, and that he and I had a miscommunication, and he didn't follow what was at Parks, what was the communication supposed to be, and then he and I talked, and we got mixed up. So, short story is, receive and place on file, I make a motion. If you want the whole backstory, I can go into it.
You can hold the file and hear the story later.
Fine by me.
I make that motion.
No, okay, now I'll second it.
Do we need a vote for that?
Yeah.
Yes, all those,
No.
oh. So what are we waiting for?
So this vote
Receive and
is
place
just
on file.
place it
Yes,
on file.
receive and place it on file. We really can't go forward with this anytime shape.
All right, the next
Sharon,
thing.
can I just bring this up real quickly? I just checked with our block grant staff, and Laura's salary will be covered. So that 11,000 pool you have can be used for grants.
Oh,
So
the whole thing?
you- Yes, because that's the amount you have for the grant. Like, you're covered
Yeah.
with salary, so.
No, I know, but Stephanie had said that we're still pulling my,
Nope, just checked it with Krista.
Between now and.
We're okay.
okay.
We're okay.
Congratulations.
Yep. No, we're okay,
Okay.
because there's still money we can draw. So we're okay with that. And I'm just bringing that up if you wanted to reconsider that.
I would like to reconsider then, yeah.
Okay.
Can we go, I don't know what we do to
just,
go back to an agenda.
Make a motion to reconsider, make a motion to reconsider whatever item that was.
Alright. I would like to make a motion to reconsider the vote on D4, increasing.
Well, just,
the one
I'll
thing
second
at a
that, I'll second that motion.
Okay.
We gotta vote on that.
All right.
Thank you.
And I don't know if we do that, the board is not really, well, I don't know.
Just, I think you can do it, just.
Verbal.
Do it verbally for
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? All right.
Okay.
It's, let's move forward.
So-
Okay, so the full application was
1,500.
for the amount of 1,500. That's 150 tickets in a 900-seat house. It's about 15% of the house. That seems appropriate to me. I'd like to recommend that we funded the full 1,500. Make a motion to increase our 300 to 1,500.
Any discussions?
Well, we gotta have a second.
Yeah.
Second for discussion. How about that?
I think it's a little high, honestly.
Meet in the middle.
Maybe, I mean, in the middle.
Sure.
Okay.
So, make a motion then or amend the motion?
We have a
We're not
What's the
ready to
most-
vote yet.
What's an amount that you are,
Maybe, would we consider 7?
70 tickets?
700.
I know, but that's,
Oh,
70
translates to
tickets.
70 tickets?
Yep.
Okay, if the group is more comfortable with that, I'm fine with that.
Trying to spread the wealth as much as we possibly can, considering we've got
Couple
still
more
only
months.
11,600, and that will be for annual grants programs in places that aren't CDBG funded areas. I guess that gets a little complicated.
I don't know exactly what that means.
That means, so we've got $11,600 left, and those funds could go towards annual grant program efforts, but only
Annual grants is open citywide.
Right.
Whereas
Thank you.
CDBG funds are in designated areas. So certain projects that could come in, we may not be able to fund them with our CD money. Whereas the 11,200 that we have can go
For anything.
all over.
Correct.
And this particular project is an all-over project?
Now, this one would be in.
I say this one's located within an eligible area.
That's true.
Um,
That is true. So this wouldn't come out of the 11.
No, I
Go ahead,
believe this would
CDBG.
still come out of the 11.
Well, that's all we have, right? We don't have any other funds besides the 11,
Right.
correct? Right.
So if we get an annual application, 6 months down the road, and it's for a project that's in a area of town where CDBG dollars cannot be spent, we would be taking those dollars out of the 11,000 and not our new funds coming in.
We can keep this rolling, this 11,000, keep rolling to fund a major project on the road, where we, as we get money down the road, we may need more money if we're gonna do a major project.
And also something that might be helpful in the conversation, we got approval for our 501c3 status, and we met with our fundraising team last week. We're going to be having our second meeting in August, so fundraising efforts are rolling along. I don't know, I'd like to think that our fundraising team is going to do wonderful things for us.
Sure.
I don't have any timelines laid out just yet.
Right.
Is the discomfort with the amount about this particular project, or is it about
No, it's about just how much we
rationing
have.
$11,000
Yes.
into perpetuity?
Not
Is
into,
that-
not into perpetuity, just until we can find a more sustainable revenue source. CDBG will be great in certain parts of our community. Those dollars won't apply to the whole community. So I want to make sure we can ration that 11,000 out until we can fundraise. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
It does, although it reinforces my enthusiasm for having a real conversation about fundraising goals and where we're at.
Absolutely.
So whatever the amount is that you're comfortable with, Matt, increasing the 300, I'm happy to go along with.
I don't know. What do you guys think? 700? Do you want to do higher?
I'd like to recommend 100 seats.
100
seats. at
Okay.
least.
Sounds good.
So what number would that be?
So that's 1,000.
1,000,
So,
2/3. He's asking. Yes.
That's a
so-
compromise.
So,
Sounds good. So I
So
make a
rep-
motion to amend the motion.
From 300 to 1,000.
To $1,000 grant.
I second that.
and we gotta vote for that?
Yeah, we gotta vote for that.
So we are approving, making it $1,000 for the Overcome project.
Yeah.
It's too early in the morning. Okay, conversations like that.
Especially with so many acronyms.
I
I don't know
know.
how you guys do it.
So it's passed unanimously?
I believe so.
All right.
Well, they'll let us know.
Yep, they just let us know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, well, thank you. That was interesting. I guess we're done with the regular business?
No.
No, bus.
Oh, no. Sorry, number 6. Number 6. Consideration with possible action on selection of final artwork for the Green Bay Metro Bus Shelter Art Project. And I think Laura supplied us with some images for some of the, so Laura, what are we trying to do here today?
We gotta pick 10?
We have to pick 10. We also have a few representatives here who I'd like to join us as well as we kind of start our discussion on the designs. We have 10 shelters that we can wrap. We received over 100 art submissions. So you guys definitely had a lot to select from. Our general call for artists was requesting images that were bright and positive and really kind of make Green Bay a nice place to visit and live and really highlight what we have here. So don't know if we want to open up the.
Well, if it's staff, we don't need to open up the floor.
It's not staff.
Oh, it's not staff. Motion to open the floor.
Second?
All those,
No, that we don't.
all
vote on
those that
that.
approve?
Aye.
All those against? Okay, please join us. Give us your first and last name and your address, please. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Kelsey Hayes and I am with Creative Sign Company. We are located at 505 Lawrence Drive in Brighton, De Pere. The project would be for 10 bus shelters, doing the back side of the shelter with digitally printed graphics on clear vinyl, which would then be applied directly to the back of those bus shelters. The artwork chosen would need to be 150 DPI presented to us in a digital format in order for us to ensure a good quality of print onto the back of the shelter. Those are on clear graphics, so you will see them from both sides of the shelter. Some of them have 4 windows, some of them have 3, but for the most part they're approximately the same size. There's a little bit of variation. I did measure all of them, so that part is set to go. Unless they are digitally created, then they will need to be in a vector format, which would be a .ai or .eps file. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
I really just wanted to have you at the table so that
Sure.
as they start kind of selecting, if you see images or things that might be a potential issue once it gets to that printing process, you could let us know, because that's not my realm exactly.
I have a question. So, does landscape or portrait better?
Yes, so the shelters are, each window on the shelter is about 16 inches wide by about 71 inches high. Now granted, they do have panes in between, but for the most part we are looking for something probably more in the landscape realm. However, we are able to make different pieces of artwork work, but obviously some of that might get clipped off. Big and bold images are nice just because, again, you have those panes in between which are going to cut out some of that graphic. So having, one full picture, might not be, just know that obviously some pieces of that artwork will get cut out with those panes in the windows.
Sounds like a pain.
Did anyone else send their?
I received votes from 2.
Oh,
So if you guys could let me know your top 10,
okay.
I can start seeing what might be in the runner.
I have a quick question. With printing on the clear vinyl, how are you going to be able, well, I guess, there's one submission in here, I think we all kind of saw it. It was the fish one and the fruit one, where it was kind of mocked up, and it made it look pretty vivid on the actual bus shelters. That's not entirely possible to get it that vivid, because when you're printing on the clear vinyl, you have to put down multiple layers of ink in order to get that color. And with it being outside, the only way you're going to be able to get light putting through enough color is like at sunset, and if the sun is directly behind the bus shelter. Otherwise, it's going to look really dark and really muddy. So I don't know about using clear for all of these graphics. That this is all like what we're seeing right now. Is how it would look printed on white vinyl, but printed on a clear vinyl, all of these are going to look much different in person.
We are able to print on a white opaque vinyl if that's what would be, what you'd prefer. However, you would obviously only get them on the one side then, and you'd see the gray backing on the other. Unless, of course, we double them, but of course now that's increasing the cost. I would highly recommend that the top 10 are chosen. And I don't know if it's possible, but to have, maybe a substitute next to, in case for some reason the artwork does not come out as we're envisioning due to that concept.
have a few.
I think a better on the mock-ups, if you can, go to the page of the fish one.
Well, there's a couple
There's
fish
two
ones.
fish, yeah.
Yeah,
that
that
one
one.
at the very end.
So that's kind of, so that would be the difference if you're talking about the M artist and then the last artist. In the M artist is kind of how that'll actually show up in real life, where on that mock-up, it's really difficult to see. Yes, on this one, from here you can see the fish, and then on this mock-up, if we have a color version of that, it's really, really muddied. It looks really dark. And that's more the real life scenario. Here is if you're actually printing on the white vinyl, you'll get actually what you're seeing.
So it seems even more important that there be not a whole lot of detail, that the graphics be super defined and bold to work against what you're talking about, right? I mean, not just
I'm
color
kind of saying that
saturation.
this is very, very difficult,
Right.
even at the best scenario, for that to even show up for people to recognize it.
Yeah.
I mean, and some of these, if they were printed on that clear vinyl, it's just going to look like the bus shelters tinted.
Yeah.
Well, that's helpful.
Were there any,
Yeah, it was-
with all the artists and artist mentions, anyone that jumped out that would, in your opinion, be a good transfer clear?
Clear, just in general, is very, very difficult.
So no.
I mean, that's normally done like when something's backlit and it has lights, you know, when it's from behind it, it can show up. And in this scenario, with everything being outdoor on a gray January day, you're just never going to get
Do
it.
we have, is it possible to see any samples of this being done in the real world?
I mean, there's the Milwaukee project, and from what I've seen from theirs, I believe it's done on an opaque white surface.
Oh, okay.
Is the, so is it, I understand the clear inside, outside, but is for the audience, is it about the patrons, and I'm gonna default to Ms. Patty over there, is it about the patrons in the shelter being surrounded by art, or is it about the approaching a bus shelter and knowing that it has the art form? Because again, I like the idea that you can see it from both sides, but if we had to shift, who are we?
Yeah,
who's our audience?
Who's our audience, right? Is it to feel you're
Also, the
surrounded by
patron
art in the
inside would also include the drivers, right? Because the drivers are on that side as well.
Except one.
Except one.
There is one shelter where you actually, and this is one point I wanted to bring up, is you enter from the sidewalk or building end, and then you're looking forward, and technically that's, you know, kind of the back side, and that's the side that's facing the street, which almost might cause some conflicts as well about being able to see it coming. So there's one shelter that's kind of flipped around, if you will. Which there's still two windows on the other side that, you know, then could be, have the images instead.
So I guess thank you, Matt, that's really good information. I guess I sort of feel like if the other two might be able to email Laura their top 12 choices or whatever it was she was looking for. And then maybe between now and August, would it be possible to see if we have any images of this see-through? Because I think that's really going to impact what images are used. And then maybe also get an answer to Beth's question about who is our audience, who are we concerned about here? Because if we do move to an opaque, we just want to make sure it's facing the right way.
Are we under a deadline?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say, I think we're under a deadline, yeah.
Only because the vinyl needs to be applied in warmer temperatures. It just, it can't be, you know, under like 60 degrees or, you know. We want to ensure obviously the quality of that. So we would like to do it in this, you know, warmer weather, of course.
I think one of the things we talked about when we were coming up with ideas for bus shelters is we wanted to put art in neighborhoods that generally don't have a lot of art. So I think when you look at the goal, it's really to put that piece of artwork for the entire neighborhood to enjoy.
Right.
More so than folks just inside of the shelter, which they could enjoy it as well. But when you're in the neighborhood, it's part of your neighborhood that you can see that art.
And
I
even
think
if-
that was the original goal, if that's.
Right, and even if from the back side you don't see it well, if you see something, it's better than a gray back, I think.
Right, I mean, a gray backing on a white surface with the artwork might be even worse than the clear windows.
Right.
But if we don't have any, modeling of this practice, it's really difficult to know. I mean, I guess if we end up with images that just look dirty, which is
I mean, for me, that helps because there was like I thought, I liked that one because I thought you could see through it and it looks like they're, swimming in the sky, but you're not really gonna get that effect.
Those other
So that's good to know.
artist ones, like how you actually see that on there, that's nearly impossible to achieve. Like that kind of rainbow fruit one that's there, yeah, and the one that's got the Metro start.
So maybe the safest thing to do would be to do double-sided? Is that what you're suggesting? That way?
Well,
that
that-
would be optimal, yeah, but that's gonna be more cost.
Right.
Right.
Is that maybe still worth doing though, with that extra cost in order to really
Well, do we have?
get the end result that we're hoping for?
And then just as a,
This project is being funded through that
CDBG.
Yep. Which we have, I'm supposed to text Will, I'm sorry.
And they can be used
He's supposed to join us in this conversation. Does that mean there's more than one?
Yes.
so I'm what,
Right.
Oh.
That's what I'm suggesting.
oh, so we need to do it opaque on white double-sided, and that's an option.
If we can, if it's in our budget.
I mean, I don't know we would have to talk about the cost of that. I don't know how much more it would be, but we have about 46,000 in that fund for
All
projects
ours.
like this.
For the year,
Well, that's that fund that has to be used up by November.
by November. Okay, so we have 46. Okay. So we-
My question was just as far as, I guess that's why we initially were going with the clears, because I didn't know as far as safety issues, if having the windows completely blocked off, if that was going to present a safety issue, or just a vision impairment issue for people utilizing the shelter.
Right.
and would the artwork ideally work with the lighting as well? So if we're eliminating the lighting, is that going to affect?
Well, it sounds like
Well, it's outside, so you can't control it.
So would it make sense, because there's a bunch of pictures here, and you're telling me I can't use half of them, can we select the half that we can use, and then?
Well,
I'm not saying half, but just that 10
10
artists.
10 or 12.
Yeah. But are there some that are more ideal that you can recommend, as opposed to?
Well, all of them will print how you see them today if they're printed on opaque white.
Okay, great. So are we trying to decide whether we're gonna go clear or opaque?
Well,
I think that's, a question we need to get answered. And maybe Metro, Patty, do you have clear or opaque? Do you have a strong opinion on that?
So I think as we kind of been talking a little bit, I mean, obviously, we wrap our buses quite often. So we do a lot of that stuff, but as I said, doing the two-sided, I think you're better off. I mean, I think it's going to give more the effect that I think the goal of what you're trying to accomplish is going to do, so.
And for that sake, you're not completely covering the entire shelter, you're just covering the back.
The back.
Right, it
Correct.
would be one of the 3 walls. So you'd have, you'd be able to see through the glass on the other 2 sides.
we don't break the fourth wall. That's important.
So do we just need to get the 10 from the 2 people who didn't send theirs ahead of time?
Yeah.
And we
If I
want to
can
get
have that
2 extra.
today.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know.
Oh.
I picked more than 10 because I thought we'd have a discussion and I narrowed mine
Yeah,
down,
no, I
but-
said between 10 to 15,
Yeah.
because I think ideally we'd like to have probably like 15, just in case those first 10 don't work out. I'm sorry, I forgot to text you earlier.
Could you share what was sent?
So I have a vote for A5, B1, F2 for B2, F8, G1, G4, G10, H8, I5, M1, M2, M3, N1, N6, R2, R3, R6, R10, S1, U2, U3, and U4.
U2?
No. That's where I
A,
stopped at.
A2? Okay, well, I got a couple of those, but.
And just a quick question, I noticed that there are some, what appears to be indigenous images.
And I brought artist statements, so if you were curious to learn more about it, I know Kelly had a question. I have her artist statement here if you would like to read that.
And are we going to try to focus images that are appropriate for that particular community or neighborhood, or how is that going to be? Or is it going to be random? How are we going to decide that?
I figured it was going to be random and kind of bouncing back once the images were selected.
Based on size.
Based on size and kind of best fit.
They are pretty similar, but obviously, again, some of them are a little bit wider windows and some of them are 3, 4. And that one that's turned around would probably come down to, I think, 2.
Maybe if there are a few options, there's multiple that fit that particular bus shelter in that particular neighborhood, maybe we can consult with the neighborhood association to get them to decide if we wanted, if we had that capability.
That's all you needed to know.
I can give you, in just a minute here, I can give you 15.
And I have all of the slides, so if you need to see larger images, let me know. There were a lot of images, so I'm slightly
So
impaired.
is there a place for me to, or how does it work?
I can give you one of these if you wanted to.
Because I'm okay with the ones you've already chosen, so I'll support the ones that are being called out already.
Well, there's a few that weren't called out that I really like.
That's what I have so far. Right, this is the first time we actually got
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that
Yes,
was
I know.
who I put the email in. Was Leah able to get in touch with
Most of it, were most of yours called out?
Yes.
Because some of them
Is my recommendation of the areas, so there's multiple numbers of different likes. It's going to take, I would advocate like
as many artists as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the same. There's only one that I can.
Are we just waiting on Randy?
Yes.
Or are we waiting on Randy? We're at 2 hours and 10 minutes, so I gotta get going here.
I believe
Oh.
so. I mean,
All right.
if you had selections, please let me know.
Yeah, A2, 8, and 8. B2, C7. D, was there only one D?
Yep.
D. F2, G3, H5, J4, N4. Oh, that was what I wanted to say. Wait, before I go to
I
N4.
looked at H6.
And since this is not an official vote, do you want input from the liaisons?
Sure.
You pass
Yeah,
that
wait,
Oh, Matt has his in his very hip
Yeah, I guess skip it.
writing receptacle. He needs it back.
So N4, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. O a couple of, I'll just pick one of them. Oh no, that's not a choice.
So Laura, once you've got this list, then you're just going to pick the top 10 or whatever.
I'll tally up what you guys have and then go from there.
Yeah.
That works?
Yeah.
How about, did anybody pick an O? Was there an O before?
I have no O's.
You have no O's? Well, then I won't pick an O. I'll skip O. Then let's just go to Q8 and U2.
So do I need to make a motion of any kind here?
Well, no, we're still got to narrow it down, I think.
Oh, we're going to make that decision now?
Yeah, we have to, I think. We're out of time. Oh, okay, yes. Yep, yep.
Thank you.
Okay. I have 14 that received multiple votes.
Great.
Here's your list.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
No, I want to.
Randy, swear.
I make a motion to accept these 14.
That's possible.
Yes, with the understanding that we're doing two-sided on an opaque, so they will be very bright and nice and saturated.
Oh.
It shouldn't affect
Well,
someone.
That if you
We'll
screw
still
up
be
the
the
vote,
14.
I
Don't think I will.
fast.
I don't think I will.
I don't know if I can see this, it's all opaque.
Oh.
Now if it's just opaque. Something wrong.
No, I just don't believe.
We have 16 now.
Okay.
Go!
Do you want us to close the floor?
Did we, all right, the floor is open, we need to close the floor before, any other questions for Robert? Go ahead.
Closing the floor. I need.
Well, does anybody
Does any more questions
or
for
anything else
our
you need to
guests?
add, or?
I'll just get in contact with you once we have.
Sure. Yep,
these
that
set up,
sounds
we
great.
can go from there.
Okay, and then I can resubmit pricing and things like that.
Okay, so.
Thank you very much.
Motion to close the floor.
Second?
All those approved?
Aye.
All those against?
Okay.
Okay, onward.
Now motion to,
Oh, now to approve the
The 16.
To
selected.
accept the 16 designs.
yep,
We vote on that, or?
yep, that will have to vote on, there has to be a second.
Second.
Now we gotta. I made the motion.
All right, we can move forward. It's been approved.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Informational, I don't have a report, Chairperson's report of project updates. Coordinators report and project updates.
So I just mentioned it before, we got our letter from the IRS saying that we are officially approved.
Yay.
We're rolling with that fundraising. Fundraising packet is mostly finalized. We're waiting on comments back from the fundraising team if they had any adjustments they wanted to make to it. And then also I've been working with Parks Department on the East River Trail Plaza that they're designing. They're looking for artwork to be placed in that plaza. So we're actually sending out a call, hoping to send it out tomorrow, actually, based on Parks idea for the plaza. Funding is coming through Parks currently. We'll have to do some fundraising and stuff for that project, but the selection process will eventually be coming to you guys to help with selecting whatever goes in on that plaza. I'm thinking probably like October, November. They got a quick deadline that they're working on. And then also tonight at 5, if you guys are free during the farmers market, they're going to be unveiling the CP mural by Bo Thomas, which was helped funded through a grant.
Yeah.
That's all I have, so you guys can go.
What time?
5.
Motion to adjourn?
Can I just add quickly
Please.
for our next meeting? Since I will be effectively chair at that meeting, I just want to encourage everyone to review the agenda ahead of time. We'll make sure that there's some action items in Laura's update so that everyone has information that they've already made decisions about or given some thought to when we get here. We need to get these meetings down. They're far too long. That's my first act as chair.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to.
Second.
All right.
I think we can do that verbally, right, or?
Aye. And those against? All right, we are adjourned. Can we take a real quick